What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the vampire tag. Drumdums tagged me in this video, another fun little tag video where I believe there's maybe 10 questions about vampire movies exclusively. I love vampire movies, so I can't wait to get through this. So let's get to these freaking vampire questions, baby. Okay, so there's only 8 questions. Almost as awesome as 10, but these are good questions. So starting off at number 1, what is your favorite vampire film and why? Not only is it my favorite vampire film, it often competes with John Carpenter's The Thing as my favorite horror movie of all time. And people will be surprised that it's not a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. The Lost Boys. I grew up with The Lost Boys. I love The Lost Boys. I endlessly watch that movie at least once a year. I love all the characters. That's one of those movies that I grew up with that's just a piece of me. I think it's flawless. I think there's nothing you could do to improve it. There's nothing you should take away from it. I love everything about it. So easily, that's my favorite vampire movie. Number 2, are vampires better than werewolves? They certainly have much more better movies. I don't know. Werewolves are pretty badass. I love werewolves when they're done right. It's just not done as often or as right as vampires seem to be, especially since like Underworld. I think that's the only werewolf movies we've ever gotten since those movies came out. I would give the slight edge to vampires. I think I'm more partial to vampires. I think when there's a great vampire movie coming out, I get a little bit more excited versus a werewolf movie, which is just so few and far between. But there are some damn good werewolf movies, and there's a lot of potential for an even better one out there. So I love both of them, but yeah, I will give the slight edge to vampires. Number 3, who is the most brutal vampire in a movie? The best to my memory, because I just rewatched this movie for the first time in quite a while, Valak, the main vampire in John Carpenter's Vampires, is one brutal motherfucker. That dude is just, I mean, he's shoving his fists through people's bodies. He's slicing people in half with his freaking fingernails. I mean, he's taking a priest and putting a shotgun to his chin and blowing his brains all over the ceiling. Plus he's eating and, you know, feeding on people. I mean, that dude just rips through an entire vampire hunter clan in minutes. And it's pretty rated R, bloody carnage candy. Yes! Awesomeness. So if you haven't seen John Carpenter's Vampires, definitely. It's one of his most underrated movies. It's a badass movie. And if you look on Amazon, you can find the Blu-ray. I didn't realize it, but it was like a little hidden secret. But I'll give the Valak from John Carpenter's Vampires. He's definitely, from what I've seen whenever I rewatched it, he's one of the most brutal vampires I've seen. Number 4, what is your favorite vampire transformation? People might not consider this a vampire. I don't really care, because this is my favorite vampire transformation because it looks the coolest, it's done very well, and at the time when this movie was released, it was like the wildest, most unique thing I've ever seen from a vampire, and that is the Reapers from Blade 2. The first time that those freaking mouth jaws opened up and grabbed hold of that dude's neck and the freaking flower tongue thing went on and started sucking his blood, I was like, what the fuck are these things? This is weird as hell and awesome at the same time. So most vampire transformations really aren't that much of a transformation. You know, werewolves have transformation scenes. Most vampire transformations is just all of a sudden their teeth is a little bit longer. Most times. Sometimes you get things like Fright Night and some other movies where there's actually a lot more like monstrous looks to them. But for the most part, vampires don't really have much of a transformation. So definitely going to give that to the Reapers. Number 5, what is the worst / silliest vampire film? I haven't seen too many of like the vampire goofy comedies or anything like that that have been out, so it's a good chance there's probably worse movies than these, and this is the popular answer, but from the movies that I have seen, and I have only seen 2 of these movies, this is my honest answer, and that's the Twilight Saga. I hate those movies. I think they're ridiculous. I think that they have basically ruined vampire movies for a very long time because where are they at? Since Twilight came out, nobody's interested in touching vampires because they've kind of got this stain on it. Now, I think we're kind of getting to that point now where the stench is starting to go away, and, you know, I'd say we're probably 2 years out from another great, like, rated R, brutal, horror-focused vampire movie. But we'll see. I'm hoping so. But yeah, the Twilight Saga, the ones that I've seen the first one, I've seen pieces of New Moon, and I will never watch them again, nor will I finish that series. Number 6, what is your favorite vampire comedy / parody movie? Well, like I just said, I haven't seen too many of like vampire goofy movies. The easiest answer and the best answer I guess I can give is Fright Night. Fright Night's not really a parody, but it's definitely a horror comedy. It definitely has comedic elements. It's definitely poking fun at the horror genre and the vampire genre. It's a very self-aware movie. and it has a blast with it. Both of them do. The remake, I'm a big fan of that one too, so I'll definitely enjoy the original better, so that one I think is my favorite, but yeah. I can't think of any other vampire movie that's like a horror comedy or a parody focus that I've seen, so I'll give that to the original Fright Night, which you better have seen. Number 7, what was the first vampire film you ever saw? It's gotta be The Lost Boys, because that was the one that I grew up being fascinated with and obsessed with. I think I had seen some other vampire movies after I really got into horror, got into Freddy, and got into vampires, but Lost Boys was the one that I was always watching, so that had to have been the first one I ever saw. I do have memories of seeing From Dusk Till Dawn in the theaters though, and the reason why it's so memorable is because I was like 6 years old. My dad didn't realize how graphic that movie was going to be, and literally every 5 minutes he's like, oh shit, cover his ears, cover his eyes, and I'm like fighting, I'm like, no, I want to see. So I mean, all the Quentin Tarantino lines in that, like the Juliette Lewis line, all kinds of crazy shit, but yeah, Lost Boys is definitely had to be the first one I've ever saw. And the final question, number 8, who is your favorite vampire, real or fictional? Vampires are real? What the fuck? I don't know any real vampires. Fictional vampire is my favorite. Okay. It's gonna be kind of a two-way tie. Because one is like the obligatory answer because it's my favorite vampire movie. I'm gonna have to give the edge to Kiefer Sutherland's character of David because I think he looks badass. He's a very good character, a very good villain. But I'm going to also name Jerry from the original Fright Night just because he has all the classic vampire stuff that I love. All the classic lore, like turning into a bat and transformations and having the whole thing about don't invite me in because then I can come whenever I want, and just that suave like sexiness, like I can just kind of he goes in and he can seduce anybody with just a look, and the whole dance scene in the club. Like there's so much cool and badass about that character that I'm gonna have to give that a mention too. So it's one of those two. I think Jerry's probably a more fleshed out character because David's certainly, kind of a side character to Jason Patric's character, but I love the look of Kiefer Sutherland, and of course, since it's my favorite vampire movie, I had to name that one. So it's one of those two. Those are my favorites. Well, that's it, guys. That is the vampire tag. Please feel free to do one of these videos, even if I don't tag you in it, and tag all of your friends, because that's how these things spread like wildfire. This is a lot of fun. Thank you, Drumdums. Lee, for tagging me in this video. A lot of fun. I'm going to have to come up with my own tag now, because I've been tagged twice, but I haven't actually tagged anybody in anything. So keep an eye out for that. I might have something cool working. Now, as far as my 4 tags, I'm trying to think of people that will actually have a lot of vampire knowledge. I'm going to tag Sean Chandler from the Sean Chandler Talks About. I'm going to tag my me and Lee's little horror minion that we're molding like a little piece of horror clay. Durbin from Durbania. And does this count as 2? Fuck it, if it counts as 2, I'll just count it as 2. Mike and Jay from We Watched a Movie. You guys have been tagged in this vampire tag, so get this fucking video out as soon as possible because I want to see your answers. Yeah. And all you guys, feel free to put your answers down in the comment section below. What is your favorite vampire movie? Your favorite vampire kill, transformation? Throw some other answers down there. Let's just talk about vampire movies down in the comment section below, guys. Please like and share this video. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber, and a pretty cool video to actually kind of find this channel on. If you want to check out my social media links, as always, down in the video description below, you got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you also have my Patreon page, great way to support this channel, and my new Spreadshirt store, which you get a lot of cool Cody Leach merchandise. Go over there, some really cool designs for t-shirts, and more will be coming in the future. And if you want to check out some more of my videos, guys, you can check those out by clicking right over here.